I'd say their top jungle are definitely one of their strong points. I mean, some days, insane. I don't think we need to shut down Someday. I think Kumo will do fine. Top versus him. And I think their bot lane's their weak point, and I think my bot lane's just gonna smash them, so should be easy.
Guess they were half right about that one. Welcome back to Game 2, which has 100 Thieves Academy opposite Cloud9 Academy. And even though Cloud9 Academy did get ahead in the 2v2, it was not a smashing, and it certainly was Prismal doing the heavy lifting in that game.
It was a flip side smashing, though, because Prismal ended up with, I believe it was 13 kills at the end of that game on the Ezreal. Ezreal Braum was the bottom lane that 100 Thieves chose. Very safe, very hard to punish, but on the flip side, when it gets going, it is really, really dangerous. There you see 12. So close, but 87% kill participation, really being involved in so much, and very refreshing to see members of 100 Thieves step up that we just weren't expecting. And even Cloud9 was not expecting this to happen, thinking that really their only strong point was Someday and Anda, but they had 100 Thieves show them.
Yeah, been impressive to see 100 Thieves just kind of slowly rise in power as the team is getting more and more experience. It does seem like maybe the playoff buff can be real for this team, as they've only gotten better the more games they played. That's why they played 5 games, Crumbs. They need the maximum amount of
Yesterday taught us game 1, we cannot overreact off of just one game, because similarly TSM smashed game 1 and really failed to deliver in the following 3. So once again, I think that Cloud9 will just have a good time to regroup and rethink their strategy. I think particularly the draft was a little bit difficult to execute for them. I mean, not a lot of teams would be able to pull that one off, especially if you don't get going in the early game. And you saw that being reflected by them going for a very greedy Baron, or a rather all-in Baron. And there you hear the Cloud9 cheers from their staff.
Yeah, see, the Baron's interesting because I like forcing Soligo to use his teleport, but the next decision of, okay, when they come, we're going to leave and then fight you is maybe the one that...
Because they use quickness and Gragas on Braum, which leaves no more crowd control. You're not going to be able to catch the Renekton or go and find a way to jump onto the Ezreal. So it's really tough for you to have those engagements be used against the tankiest member. And that just shows why Braum is the most picked support of all time in competitive League of Legends.
That makes sense. Certainly been a staple ever since his release. As looks like Kumo is returning to the stage as the final member of Cloud9 Academy. We'll get Game 2 Champ Select up and running in just a moment. It did feel like, again, even though Cloud9 Academy are the aggressive team, they're, of course, the baby brother of Cloud9 main, which makes sense. I feel like you don't have to be that aggressive. Every time I feel like I saw 100 Thieves in Cloud9 Academy on the same screen, a team fight started instantly.
I got no problems with that, going for those crazy fights right away, because I think both teams really felt confident in being able to execute on them, and it was just a matter of the execution every single time that really hurt Cloud9 the most this time around. I think it was just that, the lack of front line that made it so hard for them to withstand the initial brunt of 100 Thieves is engaged. I mean, if you can't get past the first few seconds against Renekton and Olaf, you're definitely not going to get past when Ezreal joins.
Certainly true. I guess we'll see how the rest of the draft shakes out. I think Ezreal is a good highlight. Both these marksmen do like to play that champion. It's been very popular in general, actually, but I think particularly in Academy, there's a lot of Ezreal players. But Zaya going to be the first ban there from 100 Thieves. We have swapped sides, so 100 will be on the blue side this go-around. Yuumi there for Cloud9.
It gives a lot of agency, and one of the things that I would have liked to see is that when Ezreal gets locked in, you just take Nautilus. You use a Nautilus combination to be able to take that champion down, because Rakan is usually not enough. He has to have Flash to be able to outplay the Ezreal. A good Ezreal, especially having Frozen Fist, if you have the vision to see where Rakan is coming from, you're never going to catch him. Whereas a Nautilus, it doesn't matter where he is. Press R, and then you have a Rumble on top of him or anybody else, and it gets a lot easier to deal with this champion. And so a little tweaks in draft, I think, should be enough to deal with Prismal's Ez.
Continued bans on Z here, though, by Cloud9 Academy, which I do support, particularly against Soligo, who is very practiced on the champion. Akali and Sylas, though, are going to join the ranks for 100 Thieves. So at least recognizing the power of those champions, Kumo did have a pretty good time in lane, despite the execution being tough for him in team fights. And Elise, the final ban, they're going to take an aggressive jungler out of Ender's pool, but that does leave Sejuani up, and 100 Thieves will oblige.
If they're trading Sejuani for the Aatrox, you obviously know that Someday would love to get his hands on that one, but when the Sylas is banned, you have a pretty easy matchup for you, knowing that Sejuani is not going to be dealing with a Sejuani 2.0 that can just steal her ult and many more. They do respond with the steal of the Ezreal, though. Good answer by them, taking two very powerful picks that we know 100 Thieves really likes, but we know that Someday's exceptional at Renekton, and Renekton Sejuani is just as strong as any other melee with Sejuani.
I was about to tell everyone not to panic because the rally is up, but of course Someday deciding he wants Renekton.
They forgot last time.
That's true. As the Sivir pick though for Prismal, so pretty standard pick into Ezreal. Braum though maybe going to be the takeaway here. We saw a ton of priority on this duo yesterday as well. The TSM Academy playing it almost entirely throughout the series whenever it was up. But it does look like Diamond will take away the Braum here from Stun. We'll see what he has in answer as we move into phase 2 of bans.
They deny the entire bottom lane, and it already has a good matchup into the Sivir, being able to block her Boomerang and Spell Shield. That does let Ezreal get in the position, once you have that Sheen, to actually poke away at Sivir, because her whole point is trying to just push out and hopefully get some plates that way. But if the Ezreal has the wave, he then puts you on the back foot, poking you away, and yeah, you might get a little bit of mana back, but his Q cooldown is way shorter than your Spell Shield.
Yeah, it feels like with Braum in particular, Sivir doesn't get to do the thing she wants to do against Ezreal. So I like this here from Cloud9. Not only does it deny the pick from Stunt, but it kind of makes sense for whatever you expect to have thrown at you. Rakan will also be banned by Cloud9 Academy, and Kiana will be banned away as well. So not planning on picking it at least this game.
Maybe an Olaf or Trundle ban would come out of 100 Thieves here. I think the Trundle would make more sense for Cloud9 Academy, even though the Olaf would be pretty strong. It's just a little bit trickier to deal with when you have the Ezreal. It worked last time around, but instead, the Gragas will be banned.
I mean, Blabber had a decent early game on the Gragas. Corki, though, now going to be the pick for Golden Glue, so a very different look here for Cloud9 Academy.
I think 100% Cloud9 wants to grab Trundle here. You've got two poke champions. Trundle is fantastic at that. Set him up with the pillar and make Sejuani really squishy. It's also really annoying for Sivir to get past that. If you pillar her as a non-mobility AD, she just has to walk around pillar every time, and that always feels terrible.
Cassiopeia here, though, is the counter pick for Soligo with Azir banned away. Certainly saw some of this in mid lane when Corki was picking up in popularity. Also, Karma's been left up the entire time. And even though we see her just about everywhere, still good as an actual support in bot lane. So we'll see if that is the pick here for 100 Thieves.
This is a pretty powerful draft from 100 Thieves, and ooh, that is really nasty. The Morgana against Braum. No more proccing that stun for Cloud9 Academy.
Blabber special, though. The Kindred is the last pick.
Not expecting that one. That's a really aggressive pick, and again, Cloud9 putting themselves in a tricky position, though. This is not an easy to execute composition. You're essentially running 3 marksmen, and they have no setup. They really rely on Diamond to be able to proc that. Granted, when Diamond joins the team, they're going to be able to just melt down anybody when you proc that stun so quickly. But before that stage, for Golden Glue to set up Blabber is really just a very hard time. You don't have any slows besides Kindred's E, which isn't even that good.
It does feel like they're taking some of the early game aggression out and maybe putting a bit more mid-game and team fight in. But as you mentioned, Crumbs, it still feels like the execution level is quite high for this comp from Cloud9, where I think 100 Thieves have, I would say, an even simpler go at this one.
It really is. I mean, you can tell that that's the lesson that 100 Thieves have learned from the last series. Just pick something that's a lot easier that you can just 5-man deathball. And if the other team wants to constantly fight you like Cloud9 does, then you'll find yourself in the winning end of those trades, as long as things aren't too dire in the early game.
See how it works out for either side here. 100 Thieves ready to take the Sejuani into battle and look for a second win here over Cloud9 Academy. C9A changing things up a little, but certainly looking to even up the scoreboard and keep their chances at that final alive. Certainly not expecting to run into too many problems versus 100 Thieves, I think, from the Cloud9 side. I mean, you're never expecting, I think you walk into every series expecting to beat your opponent which is always funny because you interview players like, yeah, we're going to smash them. And you interview the other guy like, yeah, we're going to smash them.
There's no way you can do that. I've definitely walked into series knowing that I was going to.
But have you told people publicly
to the
that?
slaughter? Yeah.
Really?
Like, listen, we walked in, we knew we were worse.
You know what, Crumbs? I need you back. Glad to hear though.
Not these teams, though. These teams definitely believe they can beat their opponents, and so much of it comes on to Blabber. You don't pick Kindred if you don't think you can out-jungle your opponents.
Conqueror Kindred too. Love a bit of spice here from Blabber. Oh, first shot off. Dances in. And it tastes the fury of Blabber and his Kindred. But that's about it. Sejuani not too worried about it by the looks of things.
Yeah, well, she does have that percent HP damage on her E later in the game, so she can get to be pretty good at taking down with these tanks, at least having a way to answer the tankiness that 100 Thieves has already selected 2 games in a row.
Well, before we get any further into the game, we are going to throw it down to Riv, who's standing by with Kelsey Moser.
Thank you very much. I am joined by the 100 Thieves coach. A great game 1 coming in with a victory for 100 Thieves. But I want to take a step before that and kind of ask you, how were the nerves coming in today versus Cloud9? They had the bye and they kind of had a chance to watch you in your previous match.
We actually felt pretty confident coming in because we actually 2-0'd Cloud9 in the regular season. So we also felt like we had a pretty good grasp of kind of the stuff they wanted to play, their champion pools, all of that. So we had pretty good confidence. We knew that we had a really sloppy Equifax series, so we just really focused on improving stuff like red side. You know, we just won our first red side game, and I don't know if we've won a red side game this split. So feeling pretty well.
Awesome. And just kind of thoughts on the rest of the series. How are you going to continue to find success against Cloud9?
Hopefully we just stick to the game plan and that doesn't happen. But just keep anticipating what they want to pick, and then it looks like the meta is shifting more towards scaling, so maybe securing some of that stuff, and hoping we can close out games when we have advantage.
Kelsey, thank you for your time and best of luck in the matches. We're going to throw it back to you guys.
Thank you, Ruben. I like it. It makes sense. Like, you're expecting Cloud9 to be the aggressors. Just absorb the pressure, don't worry too much, and then execute cleanly when the games get late. I think that's the biggest thing that 100 Thieves showed in that last win.
And Someday just showed that right now. He just dodged out of a level 2 gank. He didn't even burn his own flash. In fact, it was Kumo who did that. So that's a pretty big lead for 100 Thieves in the top lane, considering that, okay, yeah, maybe Someday did have to burn the teleport, but the Kindred early aggression not paying off.
And of course, this means Ander, has complete control of Cloud9 Academy's jungle, so he'll steal away this blue buff and somewhat en route for a second 3 buff, although it looks like we've vertically played the jungle this game based on Blabber having double buffs from earlier. Still, Ander will go up in camps taken, and this Morgana working out nicely. We thought that maybe with the Braum, the Sivir lane would be in trouble, but a nice answer here to give Sivir what she wants, which is consistent pressure in towards that tower.
It really is such a filthy lane between Morgana and Sivir. You've got Spell Shield and then Black Shield to get past. How on earth is Diamond supposed to get a stun? It really only happens if stun ends up misplaying. However, Blabber does strike gold in the first scuttler, hitting the first little mark. This is such a big deal for Kindred, starting the game off right with the first mark in the same side that she was on. Big.
Yeah, forget you get the mini game with Kindred getting that mark, but absolutely, Blabber fortunate to receive that one. You're going to take the trump, of course, is busy clearing out the rest of the jungle. It does seem like Ander left Blabber's wolves up, but I'm going to assume that's the whole campus. From the side, still pressure mounting up. I mean, just on ricochets alone, nice spell shield also from Prismal. Means that Cloud9 going to have to kind of dig their heels in here in bottom lane, because I don't think this will be a particularly fun lane for a while.
I don't think it ever gets fun, actually, because more mana gets to be saved up for stronger spell shields. And that is just more and more counters to what Cloud9 would like to do in the bottom lane. The setup is even less now than they had in game 1, because if you think of the stuns that C9 has to deal with 100 Thieves' members, if Braum can't get his off, he really is just Kumo. And he's going to be off in the top lane dealing with Someday. So the carries will have to do so much in the early game that it feels like a lot of it also comes down to Blabber and his luck on these marks. Because the stronger he gets, the more likely he is to be able to find those plays that they need.
Now you can see Kumo having a big wave pushed in, gives Someday the opportunity to recall and actually picks up a first item Executioner's Calling, which is picking up in popularity against Aatrox in particular. Someday, I think, kind of saying, you know what, I'm not gonna really take over the lane this time.
Yeah,
too much even farming in the last match.
that item is so strong right now that I definitely understand why people are playing it, because even if it doesn't actually hit you on the regeneration, but first hold that thought, because we are going to have a fight in the bottom lane.
100 Thieves collapsing as well. It's actually not a favorable fight. Numbers advantage-wise, but maybe Ander will get picked off here. TP in from Cloud9 Academy. Black Shield onto Ander. Here's Golden Glue. Here's Kumo. Double TP. They committed all. That's first blood. Maybe make it second. Is Blabber able to grab that kill?
And 100 Thieves knew that they were there, but still chose to take that fight. Cloud9 punishes so well with the teleport advantage. Now a 1,000 gold lead. And they're going to get an Infernal out of that one. That is huge when you have 4 carries on your team. This is a phenomenal start for C9.
Someday, though, is getting plates in the top lane, so we'll see what Kumo's sacrifice really costs him here in just a few moments. But Cloud9 handily win that bottom half exchange as Saligo phase rush, Proc with the miasma down, getting the Twin Fangs sunk into the back of the plane.
That doesn't sound very effective.
I guess it's like a Corgi in this skin. Anyway, I'll have to check the lore on that one. I mean, this looked like silliness from Cloud9 Academy, but very quickly turned around. It's kind of a stroke of genius.
So I think the big thing is that Anda does not have his Q, right? Because he just walks in and you're wondering, why has he not Q'd? He probably had it on cooldown. Otherwise, he wouldn't have died.
Gotta save it for this. Top lane Permafrost looking to proc. Kumo dancing around, but see you later. Someday, no, it's Ander that gets the kill.
The Skirmisher Sabres gets it, but hey, a Sejuani that's fed is never a bad thing. We have seen Anda carry games on this pick as well, and they do secure the ability to get more and more plates in the top 10 side, so that's going to snowball someday even further. So the standard game plan for 100 Thieves is never something bad to fall back on.
But Blabber only 1 mark away from that critical 4th one. Got one in the last team fight, which is one of the reasons Cloud9 Academy maybe wanted to be more aggressive there, but able to take the Raptors away as well. In fact, both junglers will exchange the other's red buffs as the vertical jungling continues in this game.
And we'll get to see what 100 Thieves wants to do in this top side, because they can't continue to camp Kumo. Hopefully looking to get that first brick or even more plates, because that is the biggest point of pressure that they have right now. They're a little worried about the bottom lane, not knowing that your jungler is in the complete opposite side of the map.
Cloud9 also have not found Ander just yet. Kumo actually walking up, but this is kind of a weird one. Blabber roaming up now. Maybe a 2v2 starting to brew. Someday going to be the first target. Here's Ander. I think with a surprise, but Blabber ready with the ulti. Lambs are spiking to get popped to protect Kumo. TP in this time from 100 Thieves. That's Kumo forced away. Blabber going to get stunned up by the Renekton and just chains CC to death.
The 2v2 of Renekton and Sejuani is just so deadly. A ranged champion like Blabber's Kindred just can't do anything here. She doesn't have enough burst to burn them down right away. And that's another kill, but a big ultimate being committed from Blabber that now puts him in a tricky position, because we are now going to have a Kindred that's probably not confident enough to go invade and engage all on her own. She'll have to rely on her laners without the ultimate.
Well, Blabber is going Blood Racer in this game. So certainly looking to turn into a full-fledged carry, but we'll watch this 2v2 once more. I think Kumo just didn't know where Ander was here.
He's baiting him in because he knows that Blabber is there, and suddenly he's like, oh, wait. But they probably thought, yeah, we could take a fight with the Kindred ultimate. But remember, Someday has the Executioner's Calling. The healing from the Kindred ultimate is going to be reduced. The healing from the auto attacks and Aatrox. This is a double dip item that hurts him so much. And another little thing was that the stun actually ended up canceling Kindred's hop over the wall.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I saw you squirming. You're like, ooh, that hurt.
Oh, that's just absolutely wrecked there. Someday, clutch timing there on the stun. Oh, catches him in the feet. Definitely, though, going to get protected by Diamond. And things have turned around somewhat here in the bottom lane, at least as far as where the waves are landing. Blabber down the bottom side. Give me these Krugs. And will oblige. Can't see Blabber right now. Over the wall he goes. And what a jerk. Just leaves a couple in the camp.
Yeah, what? Just taking as much as he can from Amanda. But hey, he's not strong enough to stay. So he just grabs as much as he can without being greedy. And it does have his ultimate before Blabberus is up, though. So this fight could benefit 100 Thieves.
Going on to stun here, gonna get, ooh, no, really nice stopwatch. Here's Andrew again, finds the watch on the Blabber. Blabber doesn't have his ulti, doesn't even matter, does get stunned, gets the 4th mark, but not sure who we're calling worth on that one.
I think they might be, because there's nothing else that 100 Thieves is going to be able to get out of that one, and getting the mark is pretty nice. And you also got Sejuani's ultimate, which may not come up before this next dragon. This is a Kindred that now has the extra 75 range, making her ganks and just her power so much more.
Kumo continuing to try and pressure here, still down about 20 CS versus Someday, but Golden Glue with the package is trying to maybe threaten on that half of the map. He will be spotted over the speed shrine though. So watch this replay.
So the big thing here was actually that 100 Thieves really messed up in the communication. I like what Stun is doing, knowing that he can't get stunned. But notice that Prismal chucks out his boomerang, not at the Kindred, but at the Braum. Had the Braum not been the target of that one, instead Kindred, he dies, you don't give up the mark, and then you have enough pressure to maybe acquire vision in the river and set up for the dragon that comes up in 13 seconds.
Well, I imagine again the teams will be looking to fight. Certainly Cloud9 will. We'll have to see how aggressively they want to be around the objective in 5 seconds time. Someday though is starting to really shred through Kumo. I mean, didn't pop his ulti, but with the healing reduction there, not a whole lot of good it would have done, you have to feel.
Ooh, is he? I think he's strong enough to go for this dive here. That's what the Executioner's Calling allows you to do, knowing that Kumo just can't tank you, hitting those Qs at the bottom of the tower. And the trade is going to happen, but 100 Thieves wants to fight. Someday has TP.
Yeah, they both do, but Kumo's weakened from his last engage. They're going to have to go for it, though. TP in, TP countered there by Cloud9. Stung with a Black Shield flash, ulti's in. Stolen by Andrew as the Mountain Drake. And Lancer's fight cannot keep Diamond alive. Clever, though, holding on to it. They're going to try and get some exit kills. There's one as they find Anders. Saligo on the left side, maybe a good target as well.
That's a pretty nice steal out of Anda. Still had the flash, maybe looking for the way out, but C9A a little bit too quick to collapse. And all in all, I think that 100 Thieves is going to be pretty happy with that one. Having the scaling composition, having a Mountain Dragon under your belt, and not giving up a whole lot more, got to feel pretty good.
Blabber is starting to power up, though, in this game as Golden Glue gets a plate, chunks Saligo down with a big one. Is going to get greedy here, though, for this red buff. There's also a mark on those Krogs. Blabber gonna smite that one away. Does not get bound. No, he does! But dances back to the blast cone and gets himself out safely.
He's just too strong that Prismal can't confidently go up against him right now, so they have to give that up. And let's see if he could have actually gotten out. I'm pretty sure he could have, having Flash. Yeah, nice little steal, but Stunt was so aggro in his commitment for that play that the second he went down, nobody else wants to follow that up. He didn't have the Zanyas as he used it in that previous engage, and I really think that 100 Thieves is really in a good spot here.
Yeah, I mean, again, the gold is effectively even. Cloud9 Academy have a gold lead of less than 1,000. In fact, Sunday's going to make it back in the lead for 100 Thieves if he takes his tower away.
They're going to 3-man him now. You've got Diamond coming up, and Kindred is here too. Let's see what Anda can do to salvage this.
First bit of gold, including the last plate there for Someday, but Diamond looking for the Q. Good dodge by Someday. Crucial Barrage going to tag him as he pops the ulti. Anda here, as you mentioned, going to try and ward it off, but Someday will get killed. That's a mark again for Blabber. Diamond now going to try and face off Saligo, but a beautiful miasma countered by the Lamtress fight. Saligo still dancing around. A wonderful ulti going to get both kills there for the Cassiopeia, and Saligo coming up clutch in that fight.
Morgana's here too. The play is not over. Oh, they're not going to go for more. Okay. Still a huge turnaround. 400 Thieves with Saligo coming up. The most unsuspecting member now has 2 kills under his belt. A fed Cassiopeia and now a Rift Herald for this squad. Let's see how it all went down. A big move here was Someday's ability to juke this Q from Diamond. That was huge. He would have gone down so much faster had he been stunned right away. Instead, he buys just enough time, and it does a pretty nice job focusing the Braum right away, which buys enough time for Saligo to get in here.
And then beautiful timing on that ulti. Saligo just cleans up after that. Golden Glue was making his way up, but far too late to influence that play.
He is really strong, though, Golden. He's 2-0-2, Trinity Force completed, going with the Hex Drinker to survive the possible burst that Saligo has to offer. But we just have not seen him around the map. The action has not revolved around mid lane. It really has been about the side lanes in the jungle.
For now, again, Gold will stay close, but 100 Thieves technically in the lead. They're keeping count. A Drake apiece as well, and only one tower over in this whole game. It does belong to Someday, as he took the top tower out before dying in the last play. Means that we're back again. Looking for a very even-looking mid-game. Good binding there from Stunt.
Soligo is alone in the top lane. Nobody's here to answer him, and he does have teleport, so 100 Thieves having to concede quite a bit of the pressure in the bottom side, having that one man down up until Golden Blue can base and catch that wave.
Gonna do so now, but Soligo will get some damage done here. Pretty imposing currently on the Cassio. Gonna throw some snakes here into the structure. And looks like he'll back away and maybe in danger of getting collapsed on. Blabber with a recurve bow now after finishing those Merc treads. Still very aggressive on the Kindred. I think he's up to mark number 6. He is. Woo.
It is 7, though, that he needs, right, for the second stack. So just one more, and he's got Renekton as his mark target.
I mean, I would want to kill the Renekton. We'll see how successful Blabber can be on his hunt. Got a lot of dancing around this next objective. Mountain number 2 is up in 30 seconds, as definitely looks to cancel that base, does do so.
No one wants to give this one up. If Thieves get it, it's honestly a very dire situation for Cloud9, having 2 Barons taking dragons, and you have a Cassiopeia to deal with. It can just be burned in a matter of seconds, and Cloud9 would really love to have it, having 3 marksmen on their side. Again, the quickness at which both these teams would be able to take this dragon down, and Thieves conceded. They are nowhere near the area, so Cloud9 will be happy to do so.
Oh, and actually a quick Rift Herald channel there, kind of alongside Prismal's TP, trying to maybe get the mid lane turret taken down, but Golden Glue was already roaming down with the package. Doesn't have it now, but he's made it in time to make sure Shelly doesn't deal too much damage here. Nice miasma though from Soligo, trying to do a bit of damage. Binding does hit deftly. Black Shield onto Prismal to keep him safe for the follow-up, and definitely chunked fairly low.
That's pretty good chunk. In fact, that chunk might actually either force a TP or even allow 100 Thieves to get more damage in the mid lane turret. We have a new Wolfcan having spawned from Blabber, so he's going to go for that while
the man of one way
is defending.
I mean, I like it. Very sneaky stuff here from the Kindred, as Blabber will get that 7th mark. Unfortunately for Kumo, that's too much pressure with Someday and the rest of the Thieves here on the bottom lane. So one of the notes in the last game that maybe went quietly than it should have been was how few towers Cloud9 got in the mid game. Just had not much space to work with, and it feels like currently at 2-0 in favor of the Thieves that they're in very real danger of that happening again, because it's much better when you can force fights when the map's a bit more open. Certainly for you if it's more open.
Absolutely, and taking the top lane tower is a start to doing this, but this is really the reason why you don't see junglers like Kindred be so heavily prioritized, because she can get ahead of her own, right? She's super far ahead of the Sejuani, but she doesn't enable the other laners. We really heard from Anda that a big shift in his jungling playstyle was when he stopped thinking about the jungle as, I need to get ahead of my opponent, versus how can I snowball my lanes and help them secure plates. And it really shows that the plate addition is what has mostly impacted the jungle role as of late, as well as the increased time to the jungle camp respawn.
Golden Glue also has, looks like, quite a bit of individual power with the Trinity Force, so at least enough to force Soligo out of top lane, so Cloud9 can finally get their first turret of the game. Wit's End is also finished for Blabber, just went ahead and spared the 2,000 gold he had in the bank. But he's building strength as well as the marks tally up. So as you mentioned, with 3 marksmen, they have the personnel to take down the turrets. It's just about finding a good manager for the project.
Yeah, and Diamond is the only manager, so he is a little, we call it, understaffed for this job. But if anybody can do it, it's a Braum.
Well, looks like both the 2v2s will continue their go in the mid lane. Blabber quickly taking that ward out, then hopping back over the wall with that W field active. Kumo and Someday continuing to do battle. Spear of Shojin procced by Someday, uses the ulti.
Yeah, I'm always curious because this is something we saw from Darshan as well yesterday, where the Renekton are super
Oh, he's in there.
bullish.
Oh, Blabber. Blabber maybe too keen. He got the mark though. He's going to call work on that. 110%.
That's a really nice play out of him. Now has 8 stacks on the Kindred.
Bold man. Oh, stun getting chunked out. Golden Glue looking for the snipe. Can't quite get it yet. One last hit. There's a flash in, but the rocket was good enough. Golden Glue able to nab that killing spree.
The poke pressure from Cloud9 is really strong right now. And wait a minute, are these pings that I think? No, they're not going to go for Baron. That is a little too risky. Instead, we got a good old-fashioned siege with the poke between Definitely and Golden Glue, both looking for that Trinity Force.
Kumo though with the dive. This could be a big game-breaking moment here for Cloud9 Academy. Blabber in, diamond forward. Tower goes down. Cloud9 Academy gonna back away, not pushing the envelope on these plays.
They're going to be really happy just having that many carries. If they can hit a consistent pace where they're not getting engaged upon, but they just chunk somebody out and get an objective out of that, is how they'll continue to crack those towers. Now up to 3, taking down all the outers, 400 Thieves. And you now have a very strong Corki. 400 gold bounty on Golden Glue.
Great counter push here though from 100 Thieves. They're actually gonna even those towers right back up as Prismal works to take the mid outer. Someday also had pressured in the bottom lane as Kumo finds him at the blue buffs. Someday though will complete the steal successfully. And even though it is no longer just the Someday show, he is still the star. And so many 100 Thieves games I felt like this, where it was kind of even. Maybe the enemy team had other people that were ahead, and Cloud9 do have, you know, a small gold lead here in this game. They've got strong carries, they've got good scaling, but no one could get Someday away from the towers.
Well, I mean, it might not be his show, but he's at least always getting some serious producer credit. Super involved in creating pressure for one part of the map, and when you have a guy that's going to guarantee create pressure for you, it spills over everywhere, and that's what 100 Thieves is learning to do every single game. How do we translate what Someday is doing to help everyone else out? And at the moment, they are only about 2,000 gold down. So that's not a really big lead at this stage.
No, I mean, the Infernal on the Mountain are nice for Cloud9 Academy. Again, with 3 marksmen, you're kind of happy with what's happening. This is Boldo. Straight onto the Baron we go.
Bold but quick. They need to be careful, and that has spotted it.
Yep, Golden Glue gonna shoot it down, but taking a few more autos than maybe they would have liked. Saliga with a good miasma. As the TP comes in, Kumo down, there's Golden Glue dropping the package on the end. They want to kill the jungler, but Stunt and Soligo trying to find the wraparound. Brawlma knocks up 2 on the right side as Kumo tries to face tank the rest. Definitely able to take down Stunt, but Kumo not dead. Flash himself over the wall as Cloud9 win that fight, but only barely.
Ooh, it's not over. Almost. 100 Thieves could have taken down Kumo. That was a really good opportunity to collapse on the Aatrox. We saw yesterday how quick TSM was at punishing teleports from the top laner, but this time around, the ability misses, and now Cloud9 gets another objective. This time, they're going to be able to go for that bear and then get it really quickly. That was just with 1 Mountain Dragon. Now with 2, and even more damage on your carries, I think Cloud9 can go for this at any time that they feel like, as long as 100 Thieves is about 10 seconds away from it.
Blabber goes back, gonna spend some money, just a longsword and a control ward, but certainly enough to get the Baron started up once again. Cloud9 going to take a small reset here, get the waves pushed back out. Golden Glue finds Someday. Someday does not have any magic resists. So Golden Glue with the Infinity Edge on the way can certainly rip through even the Renekton.
So it all starts with Golden Glue poking away at Anden. The second that Cloud9 turns, you see that the teleport is here. 100 Thieves thinking, what do we do? Who do we go on? That one hurts. The fact that the Glacial Prison was used so early and even missed too. But with 2 fights going on two sides of the map, Kumo flashes in, and there you go. 10 seconds is all it took
The
for
Baron's
Cloud9
speed run for Cloud9 Academy, but can they get out safely? Ulti there from Saliga will lock down Kumo, who falls. Prismal chasing down Diamond, definitely going to try and help his lane mate out. But the Baron for 1 kill, absolutely worth it for Cloud9.
That was probably just a sneak over the wall when you have the Ezreal that can hop on, and with the Kindred, you have just such a crazy fast Baron take. 100 Thieves will now have to fall back and go back to wave clear duty. Luckily, with Cassiopeia and Sivir, that's what you were born to do.
Absolutely. But we'll see how effectively it can clear out, because now, with the Baron and these 3 marksmen, The project has been managed well. They've picked up the buff. They can certainly efficiently siege, and if anyone from Thieves gets picked up, I feel like their base will just crumble in an instant.
They still need the execution of it, and we're going to see it. Yep, the ward right on the very edge. So they were able to sneak up. Wait, what happened?
Is this like the...
No. Oh, they saw it. Yeah, it was just that the Sejuani was so far. Just look at how quickly they did it.
Yeah, I mean, you said 10 seconds. That's probably about right.
You literally, in that situation, need Sejuani to stay in that area doing nothing. She just has to exist in that area because that's what prevents Cloud9 from doing it.
Well, Cloud9 took the Baron, and now they'll siege down 2 different lanes. Kumo getting mid going as the rest of Cloud9 Academy up towards top lane. Again, playing a little bit more slowly this go around. Know that with this Baron, there's no need to aggressively pressure this lead, and this tier 2 looks pretty unhealthy. Sivir ult popped. Diamond gonna block that follow-up. Ando nails in. Blabber now ready with the ulti. Yep, does pop it. Kumo gonna keep them out. Good snipe from definitely takes down Ando. Now really no tanks left for all these marksmen, but Someday gonna take down Kumo. Now it's kind of no front line anywhere.
It's a 2-for-1 in the favor of Cloud9. That's up against a Baroned up team, and even though 100 Thieves do lose this fight, I don't think they're going to lose their inhibitor out of this. It should just be the tier 2 with the extra poke that they can siege with.
And you can see this poke is doing work between the Mystic shots and the rockets there from Corki. C9 just being patient. 100 Thieves can't get too far ahead of themselves here, and I think correctly give up this tower. They'll make Cloud9 work for it, but they will take this one down.
The Kindred ultimate is being so annoying for 100 Thieves to deal with just because they have no way of committing to get into these fights and lock anybody down. A big member here ended up being the Sivir, as you can see that the Ricochet boomerangs are starting to really creep up. They keep bouncing on Blabber, and that's not a champion that can really take a lot of blows. She's, what, very low armor, less than 70 at this stage in the game. Against an Infinity Edge Sivir, she gets melted.
As always, the late game Sivir is something you can always lean on. And Prismal with a great game last time is just fine.
It's like a good wall.
Yeah.
You can always lean on it.
Hey, as Blabber takes down his own girl. I like that. 45 seconds till the Infernal is up, but only 3 seconds left on the Baron. Cloud9 getting aggressive, looking to take down Soligo. Kumo popping the ulti. Blabber just going to QSS off that Cassio ult, and Golden Glue with the TP finds himself a shutdown.
I think that's another stack for Blabber too, and with Baron still remaining on this team, I think that Cloud9 will be going for that tier 2. The base is still not cracked though, so it's not all lost for 100 Thieves.
They will lose this tier 2 and have to probably respond to the push, if not to lose more. Cloud9 actually going to back through, maybe towards mid lane, see if they can find a catch. Interesting collapse. Diamond gonna find stun.
Sivir's coming and Ezreal is not there, even though he has teleport. I think that 100 Thieves wants to take this fight, but they're already so late.
C9A committing and actually do it before Soligo can respawn. Here's Cloud9 Academy with the TP from Definitely gonna reinforce the shove.
Just didn't want to risk getting his team engaged upon and him not being there. And at this late stage of the game, not having TP on Ezreal is not a big deal. You're going to be grouped most of the time.
Cloud9 back to the Infernal. Blabber with the sweeper, clears out the vision. Easy Drake for them to take. And make it 4 Drakes once again, but this time the gold lead's looking a lot healthier. Cloud9 playing a bit more patiently. I think knowing how to execute this style of comp. Certainly they've played with Blabber's Kindred for a long time at this point.
They are also rewarded by the nastiest of dragons. With double mounts and running a marksman heavy composition is really as good as it gets.
And 10 stacks for Blabber, which is pretty rare. He's actually high level and definitely and equal with Kumo in the top lane. You can see just how much gold he's built for himself as well. There is 1,000 gold worth of shutdowns for 100 Thieves to potentially take, so certainly not out of this game yet, especially if Prismal has finished his 3rd item. But the poke, the pressure, all mounting. Soligo going to get tagged by Glacial Fissure. Dive in, they go. A good ulti, actually. But Golden Glue able to find that kill. Diamond will get out. And Blabber just takes down Prismal, diving past the turrets. Here he goes! True Shot Barrage in. Someday going to get shredded as well. Lambs a spike, gonna try and keep them in there. Kumo tries to dance back, but he can't find his way in. And Someday popping off in the back of the team fight, finds himself the double.
He saved the game.
Got the wave and 2 kills. Tower not so lucky, but still, I think you're right. Look to save this one here.
Wow, what a play out of him. I mean, that engage was pretty good for Cloud9, identifying that Soligo was caught out on his own. And then when 100 Thieves tried to turn it back, it's the Lambs respite once again being such a thorn on their side that they just have no idea how to handle the fact that Cloud9's carries do so much. Who cares if you don't have a tank? You can't die inside Kindred's ultimate.
So again, chunked out. C9 see the opportunity on the left.
Yeah, she's all by herself. Let's see how many members get caught out. So only 2. That definitely does do a good job of turning away. But then they have to actually go through the package, a well-timed package by Golden Glue here. And really, it's the someday show at the very tail end here. This is just such a good move by him. Look at this.
Ooh, 100 Thieves now with their own quick Baron. That might be enough. Flabber's getting it in there. No, he can't find it. Good smite and able to secure the Baron for his team, but Golden Glue's diving in there and they're going to have to sacrifice himself. Last auto needed for the Bromstone. That's the kill that he wanted. Golden Glue now godlike in this game. Now 100 Thieves have to hold 4v5 in the top lane.
1 for the road, but you keep 4 at home. Now Sivir has Baron. She's going to be able to stall out even more. That is a huge move by 100 Thieves. Really well played, recognizing that they needed that Baron to stall out this game. Otherwise, double inhibs down were going to be way too difficult to come back from. And Cloud9 is just face tanking. They want to get the most damage in this turret ASAP.
Yeah, Cloud9 can see that at this point, I think it's just prudent to go for the throat. Try and find a win. At least 3 inhibs on their minds here. Just need a few more autos in, and that inhibitor is dead. That's all 3 now down. Cloud9 is going to guide them in a little bit longer here. Curious how aggressive they want to play this.
And he's here now.
Yeah, everyone's respawned back. Kumo's ready with the TP, so Cloud9 are going to go for it. Staying in the base, they'll TP Kumo in.
Whoa, against Baron?
They're going to try it. You know, maybe it's time to unlock an achievement they haven't unlocked yet.
Right, okay, well, I hope they get good rewards out of that.
Diamond, definitely who did get found by Morgana. Not enough follow-up there. And ready with his ulti, though. In fact, 100 Thieves are fight ready as far as cooldowns go.
C9 is playing with fire here against a Baroned up 4 members of 100 Thieves. Answering the minion wave is pretty easy for them, having Sivir and Cassiopeia, who, by the way, this is a Cassio that her miasma later in the game has been buffed. She no longer has that guaranteed cast range. She has a lower cooldown on it, which is really dangerous against the likes of Corki, Ez, and Kindred that all have mobility spells.
Again, I think Cloud9 leading on their poke here, but it does seem like they're not getting enough done. Maybe just buying time until the Infernal respawns. There's not much else for Cloud9 to really take. Felt like they could maybe just apply safe pressure. But using Kumo's TP to make sure you get this Drake? Not sure.
I mean, I guess, right? At this point, I think you're going to remain to be grouped as often as possible, because no inhibitors means just one fight. You don't need to get too fancy with whatever you're doing as C9. But we are now reaching the ever looming threat of the Cassiopeia and Sivir late game.
And if they can nab this one Infernal, would certainly be a good one for your comp, but also a great one to take away.
Yeah.
It has been a spicy round of Drake this game.
The carries of C9 are actually just so fed the more you look at them. They haven't died. And Golden Glue is about to have 100 CS over Soligo.
Certainly been a bit more of a deliberate game from Cloud9 Academy. Now just need to put the finishing touches on the enemy nexus and even up the scoreboard.
The biggest lead is in the mid lane. You see about 4,800 up for the Corki. Level 18 already. 2 levels up on the Cassiopeia with the rapid fire cannon. One of those hits, and they're already potentially looking at a green screen with a few more spells.
I wonder how many games have had all 6 Drakes be 3 Mountains and 3 Infernals. The Cloud9 Academy have 5 of those 6. They'll shred the bottom in here. True Shot Barrage from definitely just for a bit of extra poke. And now Cloud9 with the Baron buff drop can move in for the kill. And if they can't get it, can fall back to the Baron in 2 minutes.
Let's see if 100 Thieves is confident enough to go for an engage here. Their Nexus turrets are still not being auto-attacked. I think that's going to be the signal for them that it's time to go.
Auto is going to start and they're going to get pressure. Definitely shredding that down. Saligo looking for the ulti, finds a miasma. The Kindred ult still ready to go there for Blabber. They'll get low, but Saligo finds the kill. They got Golden Glue. 100 Thieves going to hold in their base someday on a rampage. Takes down Blabber, going to get Kumo as well at the end of it all. And Cloud9 still not enough to take down the Thieves.
3 members down for at least 45 seconds, and now Prismo marching down the mid lane. I think 100 Thieves is now looking to get something in return here. Maybe a tier 2, potentially going as far as an inhibitor tower. And that was a very good fight for them, locking down members in the front line and even using the ultimate on Golden Glue. They caught him out. He doesn't have a QSS. There's no Crucible on this team. So the second he's locked down, if the focus fire is there, he's down for the count.
I think just Saligo demonstrating his mastery of Cassio in this fight. And you called it. They knew when they had to go and they made it count.
Yeah, let's see where the miasma placement ended up happening, because I think he also had a really nice stun. Flash ultimate only catches the Braum, but look at the miasma right on top of the Corki. And even though there is the Kindred ultimate behind him, the poison, the damage from the red buff from Sivir already too strong, stacked up on him. He didn't get any damage off. And that's exactly what you want to be doing late game when you're dealing with such fed carries on the side of C9.
Cloud9 at least did not die before Baron could come back up, so they'll have 30 seconds to reposition for the objective. Also, don't forget, there's still 2 lanes with super minions streaming into them. Cloud9 Academy is still up, but this gold lead's looking pretty irrelevant the later we go.
This should be C9's Baron, though. They can take this in maybe 6 seconds, maybe even less, having double mountains, actually. We're just going to say it automatically goes in C9's pocket if they are around. The TP is here, and we have a 5v5 in the mid lane.
100 Thieves going to make them fight for it by the looks of things. They go in and to look for it. Golden Glue dodges out with the Valkyrie. Diamond now on the front side. Glacial Vigil lets rip with the Black Shield. Going to keep them moving forward. Someday, though, maybe they're going to get picked off. Kumo fights back with a World Ender proc. Blabber again looking forward. Dodges that binding. Cloud9 Academy know that if they win the fight, good turnaround there by Blabber. Dodges the Cassio ulti. But he's forced to burn the Lambs fight. Definitely getting aggressive now. Golden Glue can see it. They just need those last few autos. Q's going to miss, though, from Ezreal. 100 Thieves, no help, but nobody died.
Whew, that was so close for both the teams. And now C9, because they win that fight, they get that Baron real easily. 100 Thieves is going to TP, but you know this dies right away.
Yeah, that was less than 6 seconds, Crumbs. You had to read. The Baron explodes. Cloud9 Academy collect the buff.
Commit Sudoku.
2 inhibitors back though for 100 Thieves. Bot lane going to be up in about 1:30. That's 55 seconds though until the game's first Elder Dragon will spawn.
That Elder is going to be so powerful for C9. 5 Infernals.
That's a lot.
Right? That's the most power you're going to get in the game.
Baron still for 2 minutes 50 as well. Cloud9 know that they're not that far away from sealing this game, but I feel like they felt that for the last 10 minutes. It has to be frustrating to not close this one out.
100 Thieves, their only viable target to engage upon is likely to be Golden Glue again. That's who they looked for last time around. He doesn't have a QSS, going for the full damage build, really counting on Blabber to keep him alive. And now he's teleporting in. Let's see if C9 chooses to poke a little bit before committing to this fight, or what 100 Thieves decides.
I assume he has the package as well. I actually really like this play from Cloud9. Golden Glue's just going to threaten to end the game if you don't answer him while the rest of Cloud9 Academy finish off this dragon. So what do you do now if you're 100 Thieves?
You give this up. Golden Glue can end this game right now.
Might actually just end it straight up. He's so powerful on the Corki. Shooting the Nexus. He's ready with the package. He doesn't want to peck it though. He's back out with the package, but he has to juke Ander now, who's again trying to stun him up. They get the first stun. They can't save him. Cloud9 Academy get the Elder Dragon, but they do have to give up the Corki.
Oh, Blabber was so close to be able to make it and keep him alive for a little bit longer, but now that one man down might actually buy enough time for 100 Thieves for the Baron and Elder to wear out. They did crack the base, but the inhibitor turrets are back up. There's no waves of minions. A fight must be won by Cloud9. There's no wards to even go for a cheeky TP play to end the game.
Yeah, right now it's just play defense for 30 seconds before Golden Glue is back out on the map. Very dramatic game, almost 40 minutes through this one.
Well, Cloud9 definitely in the driver's seat the whole way through, but we got so late that they don't want to mess this up. Losing this would put them at match point, and to go this far and not get the win would just feel so bad.
Yeah, whereas mentally, I think 100 Thieves have the edge. They've already played one best of 5 that went the distance with players that were sick, having a jungler sub in and Ander move down to AD. Like, 100 Thieves have been through a lot so far in this playoffs.
And now they have to get past this Infernal for C9. Marching straight down the mid lane. Again, a few turrets. Yeah, I like this. You recognize you need to make it to mid ASAP. Otherwise, the damage on the inhibitors is just way too much. Corki's already here.
Cloud9 keeping it simple, just grouping everyone together, forcing them to fight you. You know, you have all this power. I think just right now, at least, just force a test of execution. Use your carries, knock down the inhibitors, and force 100 Thieves to have an answer to what you're doing. Blabber flashes in onto Prismal. That's the kill he wants. He's almost going to get it, but he gets stunned up. Managed to use the Lazarus Bite, though. Thinking dirty to fight, and Golden Glue, he's taking out Saligo. C9 just need to grab a few more kills. The Nexus open. Blabber still not dead, and Cloud9 Academy will finally collect the ace, collect the Nexus, and even up the scoreboard as Someday dominating, tries to save the game, but this time he cannot do it, and Cloud9 Academy will give us a series.
Ooh, what an engage by Kindred out of all champions, knowing that you have the damage to really burst down that Sivir. Worst case scenario, you force her to be inside the Lamb's Respite with you, so you control the positioning. Really good heads-up play there by Blabber, and even if that play doesn't work, you've already cracked the inhibitor. They could have ended the game off that one, but that was a slobber knocker of a matchup, Pastry, because we went the distance.
And I think, honestly, if you're 100 Thieves, you're not even that upset about the game. Like, obviously, you'd like to win, but given how much you tested Cloud9, given how far ahead they got, especially that Kindred, Cloud9 have to be thinking, like, why did that game take so long?
Yeah, I mean, well, you start to realize that the getting picked off does a pretty bad job, it does a lot to prevent you from pushing your advantage when you have Baron, when you have Elder. So a few of those picks did stall out the game, but it was really the fact that that fight at the inhibitor, when Cloud9 teleported to try to end against that Baron sneak that 100 Thieves did, really stalled out so much. And then the engage where they committed, where Cloud9 used the teleport to try to end against Baron, really stalled out the game even further, which then bought enough time for them to find the engage, pick off Golden Glue and his Corki, and then stall out even further.
Well, we'll look at how we got there. First speedy Baron here from Cloud9 in the replays. 100 Thieves, they do find the follow-up fight, but Cloud9 know that they can rush this one down.
This is the first one, already having 2 Mountain Dragons, so Blabber just needs somebody there to tank with him. He's so fed at this point, having, I believe, 8 marks at this stage in the game. And so when 100 Thieves is already here, yeah, you're going to get just, I believe, only one member, the Aatrox, in the top-hand side of the map. Nobody else for that Baron.
And we'll take a look at our next replay now as Cloud9 finally gets something happening. They'll find 3 kills, but a certain someone keeps this game maybe closer than they would have liked.
I guess now when we start to think, why did the game continue to stall out when C9 was this far ahead? When they're winning fights this one-sidedly, look no further than the man in the top lane for 100 Thieves.
And again, they dive, they go in for it. Sunday's GA comes back up. Kumo can't find his way back into the circle. And Sunday has the timing done beautifully.
He actually got the extra health from the kill right away because he was 1 auto from going down. The auto was mid-air for Golden Glue to take him out.
And again, the theme of this game seems to be close, but not quite until right at the very end. 100 Thieves now deny closing out the game again as Corki launches in.
A big one there was the Anda ultimate, catching Golden Glue right away, on top of the Miasma too. So 2 very well-placed abilities for 100 Thieves. Catch out the strongest member of C9 at the time, and then it buys just so much time for everybody else. It was really good that Cloud9 was so far ahead that off that pick, 100 Thieves couldn't get anything off it. They didn't even crack a tier 2 out of that because they were so pushed into their base.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened in this game. Huge 8K lead for Cloud9 at 30 minutes. Brought almost all the way back to within about 2 to 3K. And then Cloud9 by the end, when they win the game, are back to that big gold lead. But 41.5 minutes, long game for these players to play.
Right? I mean, we have a best of 5, so we potentially have 3 more games in store. And if they're all like this, the mental toll is a really big deal. I mean, the fact that they're eating vegetables is really going to help them out. And no joke, because if you start pounding coffees, by the end of the game, you're not going to be there.
And good to see about 10 water bottles strewn across the table. Going to need to stay hydrated throughout the series. But I think Cloud9, I mean, they're the aggressive snowbally team. They don't expect to play 40-minute triple marksman Elder Dragon games against 100 Thieves. They're looking to smash lanes and get out of there. So this is going to be a very different series than I think we thought we were going to get. We already thought that 100 Thieves were very far behind. They've shown that they're equal to the task at taking down Cloud9, but Cloud9 might have to play differently than they have all season if they want to best 100 Thieves.
We heard from Kelsey. She feels like the meta is shifting a little bit back towards scaling. It's reflected in the draft. Game 1 and Game 2, they had a little bit better scaling than Cloud9 in the sense that it's a very easy to execute composition, but C9 just got so far ahead off of the merit, off of their skill that allow them to get here playing whatever they really feel like, that it allows them to play a triple marksman composition and still come out with a win.
I feel like they executed much better, not just because they know these champions, and this is clearly something they've practiced, but I think they just calmed down a little bit. You know, didn't make as many high-feed decisions.
Well, I think it was kind of hyphy, but at the same time, it was very calculated. That double TP in the bottom lane when they saw that the Sejuani was going to face check really was the beginning of, okay, this is how Cloud9 is going to approach this game. Commit 5 members to make sure that you get everything that you need in these fights. And snowballing that with dragons and proper dragon RNG, mind you, did get them a really far ahead. Because I think this would have been a different game if we had, say, three Cloud and 2 Oceans.
Well, we'll see. Kindred, Drake's got all the RNG here, but the teams are now split at 1-1. We'll see who can bring the series to match point when we return for Game 3. Don't touch that browser.
Guys, I figured it out. I know why we lost last game.
Why?
We didn't do our fist bumps.
We didn't do our fist bumps.
Shit.
Should we just say we did?
TP in from Cloud9 Academy, Black Shield onto Anda. Here's Golden Glue, here's Kuma. Double TP, they committed all. That's first blood. Maybe make it second. Is Blabber able to grab that kill? Starting with a Black Shield flash, ulti's in. Stolen by Anda is the Mountain Drake.
They're TPing here, they're TPing here. You guys can't fight it up. You guys can go.
Nice.
Move up. Make space. Go Sedge. I'm on Sedge.
I thought I'm ulting. Sedge is 1 HP. I got Sedge. Sedge dead.
Landra Spike gonna try and keep him in there. Kuma tries to dance back, but he can't find his way in. And Thumbnay! He's almost gonna get it, but he gets stunned up. Managed to use the Landra Spike though. Sticky Dirty to the fight and Golden Glue. He's taken out Saligo. C9 just need to grab a few more kills. The Nexus open. Blabber still not dead.